Hello there, Rambling Ringo, back for part 2 of my Davy Jones tribute. Now that 2 weeks have passed and I've had time to collect my thoughts and put things into a little more perspective. Still quite a shock, as you can appreciate, somebody so young as Davy, because mid-60s isn't old anymore. It was in the 1960s, it was elderly, but Davy was part of the generation that gave us all hope, because he was eternally young, and he was the human dynamo, and he was the heart and soul of the Monkees, as Mickey has acknowledged. So it's still quite a shock. And of course we've had the events in Beavertown in Pennsylvania with the folks there doing a very nice memorial. Looked like a lot of fun. I wish I could have been there. It looked great. And they deserve credit, and what a nice place for Davy to have had a home. Also, I've been playing some Monkees records, as I'm sure you have. This is my very first one. I wanted to show you this. This is one. It's the greatest hits. I got that when I was 6 years old. The Monkees were no longer a current band. I thought they were. I was watching them on TV and reruns, and people said, oh no, they're from the 60s and they're copied from the Beatles, and then that helped awaken my interest in the Beatles, because who were these Beatles? If the Monkees were so good and they were copied from the Beatles, then the Beatles must be really special. So I always, I love to play this record, my first pop music record. I've bought other pop records after that, but my next pop music LP record was Help, the soundtrack to Help. So I've been playing that, and I've been playing Changes with Mickey and Davy, the album they did after Peter and Mike left. And I know Davy didn't like it, but I'm actually starting to like it. I didn't like it either, but it actually has a nice consistent sound to it, unlike something like Instant Replay, which sounds more like a compilation album because there are so many different styles on it. Changes actually sounds quite good now, and I'm listening to it more often and really enjoying it. And I'm thinking about Davy's talent. You know, a lot of young people today watch the so-called reality, so-called talent shows and dream of instant fame and fortune, and of course it's an illusion, that kind of thing. They should really look at Davy, a guy who could sing, could dance, could play the guitar, could do comedy, could act, and at the end of the day, if all that fell through, he could jump on a horse and ride in a race for you. That's talent. And a guy like that, a human dynamo, he had to go to America. He really did. That's the only place for that kind of talent to have scope. Lots of British actors and musicians go to America, and sometimes it doesn't work out, and they would have been better off staying in the West End or something like that. Not with Davy. A talent like that, America was more fertile soil, definitely. There's a number of entertainers I can think of, similarly talented, multi-talented, and I like multi-talented people. They're always fascinating people. They're the Leonardo da Vinci's of today, people who can do anything. And unfortunately, a lot of them can sing, dance, tap dance, ballroom dance, play the piano, write a song, do a painting, do comedy, act, etc. But they end up doing game shows on TV because there's just not the scope for them. And Davy, if he'd stayed in England, he may have done that, and I'm sure he would have done it well. Or he may have ended up in Andrew Lloyd Webber musicals and had a pop career like David Essex or someone like that. But I really do think he was absolutely right to go to America, definitely. So, I was also thinking about this. Davy as a cultural icon of the 60s, just as significant in my mind as Jimi Hendrix, probably more so. He was there, I was just thinking about this, he was in an early episode of Zed Cars, which was a British TV show about the police in Liverpool. It's before the Beatles. And Davy was in an early episode, and I'm almost certain in the same episode there was a scene with a cavern-like nightclub and there's beat music coming up from the cellar. You don't see into it. It's all power of suggestion. But Davy was part of something which was helping to sow the seeds culturally in the wider arena for what the Beatles were doing. Not consciously, in retrospect we can see that, of course, not at the time. But he was there, and he was there on the Ed Sullivan Show when they made their debut. And then he was part of the Monkees, which was a reaction or a response to the Beatles. And then, of course, the Monkees rebelled, became a real band, and became just as creative and prolific as the Beatles, and played catch-up in the late 60s. Fantastic amount of recordings they made, really. And Davy jumped on the songwriting bandwagon and wrote quite a few decent songs. So hats off to the guy. He was my favourite Monkee when I was a little boy, because he was little like me, because I'm half leprechaun. And he cheered me up. He cheered you up. Good one, Davy. We're going to miss you, mate. There he is. Oh, there he is. Dressed up for the circus. The circus is coming to town. It said on the poster. So, like I said, he was there every step of the way. So, Davy, I'm going to sign off this tribute to you every step of the way. I used to see you in the avenue. You were the girl who let me follow you. You used to hang out in the alleyway. You sewed a button on my shirt one day. Just around until I found your name. And underneath the arches in the pouring rain, I said to you, yeah, you, I want you every step of the way. I know things are getting better. I know it's gonna be okay. So baby, don't go. I ain't gonna let you. I wanna be with you every step of the way. Take a chance. I'll be with you every step of the way. I'll even show you how to strut one day. You got a girl and it's a crying shame, but I can't figure out who's to blame. I said to you, yeah, you, I want you every step of the way. I know things are getting better. I know it's gonna be okay. So baby, don't go. I ain't gonna let you. I wanna be with you every step of the way. 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 Till next time. Thanks.